This is a very gross portrayal of someone who is a trans woman. This is like hitting all of the common stereotypes, like trying to make them as quote unquote gross looking as possible.
I mean, it's that guy's art style. He makes everybody look gross, including straight white men.
Just because you draw everyone with big, long noses, that doesn't mean it's okay to do it with a Jewish person. Yeah, or like...
No, it is. It's okay to have a consistent art style. If you only did it for a Jewish person, then it would be a problem. See, that's the difference. If you do it like that all the time, and that's just how you draw noses, then someone can point at it and be like, look at how he's drawing Jewish noses. Yeah, he's drawing them the same as he draws other noses, so that means he sees them as equal. Yeah, like it just doesn't work. You can only point that out if he's doing it specifically different for Jewish people. Not the other way around. Let's go, Rob's Media. You are in the spotlight again today.
Yo, Rob, I got another case for you. There's this woman, Denims, who's been up to some pretty suspicious activity lately.
I always get excited for the intros, man. That last one went hard. I'm gonna end up like downloading that song and playing it. I looked up that creator and I subscribed to that channel, and all bangers. Rob's Media kind of nails the opening. Last night's is gonna be hard to top though.
She just defended a known scammer, placed a bounty on someone's head, and worst of all, she's a Twitch streamer.
God made the mistake of making me opinionated as a woman. Listen, I'll up the number, okay? 30K to anyone who'll make this disappear.
Turn it up a
To
little
be
bit.
honest, the video itself, I don't care about. That's not... It's not relevant. It's not important. I only care about the thumbnail. You have to be able to read anything and not give a fuck. Not care. Okay?
Welcome back to Idiot Influencers. Today I'll be diving deeper into the tale of Denims, a member of the Poggers community I heavily mentioned in my last video. Denims is a self-proclaimed, largest female political streamer on Twitch.
That intro didn't go as hard as the last one. Still, go on.
She's been involved in loads of controversies, which haven't really been well documented on YouTube. She's said some insane stuff over the years, and would probably be considered a full-blown lolcow if not for Hasan Piker's audience. That might sound far-fetched, but
I've been saying that about all of Hasan Piker's fucking orbiters, man, that they're all just, or as Hasan himself would put it, you're just a lolcow of a different variety. Yeah, he's talking about his fucking orbiters. He wasn't just talking about iDubbbz there. That is all of them. If it weren't for the fact that they were latched onto Hasan, they would be lolcows. Well, maybe not Denims. Denims would have probably just like, I think that she would rather be an OnlyFans girl than be a lolcow. So she just would have double, triple, and quadruple down on being an OnlyFans girl.
here I'll properly explain why that's the case. This is the unhinged story of Denims, the female Hasan. Denims first grew to prominence online in mid-2019 due to her association of Destiny. Destiny
Yeah,
is
she's always latched herself onto somebody else. Those two personalities she shows off on stream weren't enough to get the views because every woman has those. You got to bring more to the table than that online. She learned that quickly and then just clout chased. You're noticing a running theme with all of these influencers that he does these videos on, all of the ones that orbit Hasan, is that their entire career has been clout chasing after somebody. Just latching themselves onto somebody and guest starring on their streams and trying to not build a community of their own, just be part of someone else's.
a more political streamer who discusses topics from a more liberal and progressive viewpoint. Denims would slowly but surely make herself known in Destiny's community, and would eventually meet him in person at that year's TwitchCon. This sparked drama between them and a few other Destiny orbiters like Iman, Katarino, and AtlasQ, with Destiny's wife at the time, Melina, being censored in a lot of it. Now I won't be going too deep into this drama, as Destiny himself has described it as one big misunderstanding, but it's important to mention, as it shows that even early on in her online career, Denims is a snake. Basically on the first night, Iman got really drunk and caused a scene in their hotel. Over the next few days, Melina and Iman would go back and forth from getting along to hitting each other, which caused
And some of this is going to be new to me, as I've known like the main points of it, but that was more my interest here, is to take a deep dive into this stuff because I don't know as much about this as clearly Rob's Media has done. So this is going to be quite educational, and it'll add context to all future shit that goes on with this drama that they've started with Ethan.
this conflict. Denims was going to stay with Atlas at his apartment after the convention, but Destiny mentioned she could stay at his place if needed. He wasn't aware of what the relationship was like, and wanted to give Denims a backup plan. Destiny, Melina, and Katarino would then find the two at Destiny's apartment in his bedroom, which weirded him out.
And so, at this point, there's a lot of very strange things going through my head right now, okay? Namely, the idea that, like, I'm incredibly uncomfortable that, like, and I don't know if this person would do anything, but the idea that a fan of mine was in my house for a whole day, now that figure is contested, okay? Other people say he wasn't there for a whole day, he just came and left or whatever, like, around my unlocked computer, like, actually is the...
Why the fuck did you leave your computer unlocked? I'm sorry. I mean, like, streaming's your job. That's your livelihood. It just seems to me like, and you're not a dumb guy. It seems to me like, well, from nothing I've seen, you're a dumb guy. But then again, given your gooner behavior, maybe you are. But I don't know. It just seems like the computer would be under strict lock and key.
Worst infosec like mishap I think I've ever had in my entire life. I don't know if I have ever had this problem happen in my entire life. I'm actually like so insanely upset that situation occurred for a full like 24 hours.
They stayed there for a while, and Denims made up multiple different stories to explain what they did before the trio showed up. The situation escalated when Iman sent a Discord message to Destiny, asking if Katarino and Denims slept over that night. Iman wanted to sleep over as well, so Destiny, Melina, and Katarino decided to have a meeting about this. Iman, Denims, and Atlas walked into the apartment uninvited during the meeting, which made the others furious.
And then, unfortunately, because I have to talk to these people after that debate, I have my 8,000 viewers that I say goodbye to, and I close it, and I turn, and I have a long conversation with Iman and Denims, and I basically tell them, like, hey, this shit has gotten out of fucking control. Like, holy shit, this is so crazy. Like, I think that I would be comfortable... Like, I think I said we were going to have another talk tonight with Melina, but I basically, like, laid out, like, this is everything that happened. None of this is okay. Like, this is really fucked. Like, this is all a big problem. And we'll talk about it tonight with Melina.
Not too long after, Destiny talked about it on stream, which is where this information comes from. This made Denims release a Google Doc about the situation, where she tries to downplay it, though she admits that going into Destiny's apartment so casually was weird. She also attached this really dumb meme video. This would lead to a back and forth between Denims and Destiny, with the former accusing Destiny of...
Which means that, like, the actual, like, the disrespect that comes from that. Like, you knew what he meant, you purposefully broke his rule, and then you're just, like, rubbing it in. She had no respect for Destiny from the start. It was clear that she's just after clout. Just using him. And then use his apartment as a place to get laid. Just, oh my god, dude.
Melina of trying to get sexually involved with Katarino. This was disproved by Iman during the leak discussion, which made Denims seem like a massive liar. Much of this drama is super confusing because Denims made up multiple different stories to try and come out on top. Also, much of the Twitch VODs relating to it are lost. What we do have is a brief transcript, where Denims admits to lying and apologizes to Destiny for trying to cause conflict between him and Melina. To distract people from this, Denims threatened to leak private chat logs where Destiny uses the gamer word. Destiny responded with, "Whatever, I say it in private all the time." Based? Denims leaked 2 videos anyways, which were posted to the livestream fails subreddit, eventually becoming more drama. Denims and Destiny are still rivals to this day, with the former constantly shit-talking him in private, though at the same time, she'd go on to copy his website design. Since Denims can survive on her own as a streamer,
A lot of people have copied Destiny's website design, and that's partially his fault because he had it open source for a while. This one I might not blame her for because she's not the first one to do that. Quite a few people have copied it because he had it like open source for a while because he has like chats and embeds and stuff. And basically his website is a place where his community can hang out. Chat's always open. It shows wherever he's streaming so they don't have to try to find it. It's got alerts. It's got like the Reddit. Like it's your one-stop shop for all things Destiny. It's, to his credit, it is a, like I've been there and looked at it. To his credit, it is by far the best like way to build a community and have your community engage as an influencer, if you can convince a bunch of people to start using your website instead of all these other sites. Because normally, like, people have to watch you on one site, be it Twitch or YouTube or whatever, then they go to the subreddit to engage further, then they got to go to a Discord to engage further, then they got to go. He had all that stuff. He had embedded Discord, he had embedded, like, all of these things are embedded on one site. So you just go to one site and it brings it all up on one page, and you can see all the community things happening at once. You can see the Discord. He's got the, feeds from the Discord coming up there, so you can see what's going on in the Discord. You can see the live chat. You can see the live stream itself. You can see pretty much everything, and you never have to leave the page to do it. It's all in one place. So that's definitely the best way to engage with your audience. And quite a few other influencers tried to copy it at the time, because he had the source code for his webpage was open source, so anyone could see it and use it. I think he ended up changing that, so it's not open source anymore. But for a while it was open source, and if it's open source, then you can't really complain if someone else uses it. That's what open source means. It's open. Anyone can use it. The creators of OBS don't get mad when people use OBS. It's open source. So this is a dumb point. I don't know why Destiny got mad about it later. I think he got selectively mad about it. So he got mad when some people did it, but not others. Yeah, this is a nothing point.
Streamer, she decided to latch herself onto another big name in the leftist political sphere. Enter Hasan Piker.
Yep, and then she latched on to Hasan, and the rest is history.
Denims is basically a waiting room streamer, entertaining Hasan Piker fans before he begins his streams. Her career...
Yeah, that's what all his orbiters are. They're some form of waiting room or after the show streamers. So either they're the waiting room, or they're the thing you watch after Hasan's done streaming if you're a viewer who's not done watching and you want to see more. Damn it, I didn't click that button. Why did it... Ugh.
Is pretty much modeled after him, constantly spouting the same stupid takes and offending him and any other associates. The two are part of a bigger streaming community known as the Poggers community, which is basically the Hollywood of online content creators. They
wish they were the Hollywood of online content creators. They try their best to fake it, but no one's going to treat them like it's Hollywood. They're an authority on nothing.
Rely on parasocial fans, have their own award show, and even get into sexual abuse scandals, just like the real Hollywood. Recently, Denims has become the target of criticism, even from certain members of the Poggers community like Asmongold. In April of this year, Grum started this worthless campaign for various characters in the game Stellar Blade to be uncensored, as before release they were made to be less revealing. Someone going by Tone Man made the following tweet in response to this: $20,000 for anyone that can make this dipshit disappear. While reacting to Asmongold's reaction to this...
I mean, I don't like Grums, but this meme that they have, this habit that they have, one can argue whether or not it's a meme, but this habit that they have of offering money to make people disappear. I don't understand how that doesn't have legal implications just on its face. Fuck Twitch. I'm pretty sure offering money to have someone, to have someone killed is against the law.
Denims said this.
Listen, I'll up the number.
Guess it doesn't apply online, huh?
Number, okay? $30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear and make Eve's breasts bigger. Okay, you have to do both.
See, she puts the last part in, so, oh, it's a joke. Was it, though? I mean, was it? Because what if somebody had actually done it? Then I think the only reason they haven't seen legal repercussions for this shit yet is because people haven't actually, done it yet. But one day some crazy nut job will, and then there'll be actual legal action against you, because you go to court with you publicly stated that you offered this much money if someone... Yeah, but also said they had to make a girl's boobs bigger in a video game, so that makes it a joke. And they're like, well, clearly he didn't think it was a joke. Yeah, your actions have consequences. Doesn't matter if it's a joke or not.
All right? Because then it's a win-win for me. I get more breast, and I don't have to see that moron on my timeline anymore. So if you think about it.
Now, many misconstrued this as her attacking Asmin, but really this was directed at Grums. Now, this is obviously a joke, but it came off as distasteful to many. I think it's dumb, because if someone made the same statements towards her, she threw a hissy fit. Despite many wanting her banned from Twitch for this,
Oh yeah, hypocrisy is also something they all very much have in common.
she never did. This is probably because of her association with Hasan, who always says crazy shit.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
We're there to partner with them.
It's okay because English is his second language, so he didn't really mean it.
We're not there doing our own thing. We're there partnering and training
video
and
game.
equipping and enhancing their capabilities.
See, in a video
Speaking
game.
of 9/11, let's go over the time she did get banned. On November 17th, 2023, Denims streamed herself reading Osama bin Laden's manifesto, where she flat out defends him and tries justifying the September 11th attacks. That same day, Destiny would react to it, which is the only archive of her stream that I know of. One of his big criticisms is her being safe edgy.
Listen, man.
Yeah, nothing annoys me more than safe edgy. I think that's probably the reason why people have turned on iDubbbz more than anything. I think if he were just full on edgy, like he used to be, even if he was on the wrong side, he'd probably still retain some of his old fans. But the safe edgy thing, the concern trolling, the, like saying the thing without saying it, it just makes you look spineless. People don't like that.
Whole, like, ignoring...
Say it with your fucking chest. Or in your case, both your chest.
Palestinian Jewish people and like pretending like this is a the Jews situation. Disavow. America deserved 9/11. I can't disavow facts, man.
I'm just the only thing
How's
that
that
makes
a
me so
fact?
fucking salty is just it's the corporate safe edginess. I hate corporate safe edginess. I hate corporate safe edginess.
Yeah, everybody does.
Like all the Nazi people should be allowed on Twitch 100%. If you're allowed to say stuff like this, it should. That's like the only. There is no possible.
Yeah, as iDubbbz himself would say, either all of it's okay or none of it is.
TOS or community guidelines that you could discuss, or I'm sorry, that you could establish if you don't have that would allow for speech like this and not Nazis. Like Nazis should just be allowed on Twitch. This is wild.
Denims will gladly make statements validating the deaths of thousands of innocent people, yet will get pissed off about lighthearted jokes Froggy Fresh made about sex workers.
I don't know if they're giving. I think they give away like OnlyFans girls there at these events. I don't know what kind of sponsorship's going on. Like if you win certain fights, I think you get to own some of these girls for some of the nights.
Awesome.
I don't know how it works, but I think Chris was like he had plans to go beat up a nerd and whatever, however they get to like lease one of these girls, and so like. He got there. Well, Ian was probably thinking.
That's right. That's how escorts work. You're not paying them for sex. You're paying them for their time. What they do with that time is consensual and up to them. They're not obligated to do anything. See, legal loophole.
Like, because I think, man, I need to just stop.
This is so weird. Mike by the Ocean, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's a joke. It's a poorly executed joke, but obviously a joke. I mean, it's a lot tamer than the jokes you've made. Why am I dying?
This is so weird.
Froggy?
She basically spends the rest of the stream justifying certain things Osama said and blatantly ignoring clear-cut cases of homophobia.
Yeah, I mean, dude, okay, I swear to God, I've never read this before. The fact that the next sentence is talking about homosexuality and intoxicants. Bro,
Oh, she doesn't even know. She hasn't read this whole letter before. She thought it was just going to be a based, like, shitting on of America. Did she forget who Osama bin Laden or Al-Qaeda was? Is she on some fucking white girl retard, like, it's all Al-Qaeda, or Al-Qaeda freedom fighter shit? Like,
all right, we call to all of you, we call you to all of this, that you may be freed from that which you have become caught up in, that you may be freed from the deceptive lies that you are a great nation, that your leaders have spread amongst you to conceal you from the despicable state to which you have reached. It is saddening to tell you that you are the worst civilization witnessed by the history of mankind. Okay. I feel like this kind of cap though, because like the British Empire is pretty bad. The U.S. Empire is also bad, but like the British are just a little worse. Just a little.
keep in mind that when Osama bin Laden calls us bad here, it's because of our debauchery, our homosexuality, and our loaning with interest. That's what he means when he's calling us like one of the worst, and our foreign policy as well. But
this got her in trouble due to these statements.
Yeah, he's not wrong. It's because of the things we do that their holy book tells them are bad, and we allow. It's less to do with politics and more about that.
So she got a slap on the wrist.
All that stuff that they tend to spend their time defending are the reasons why 9/11 happened.
Her ban only lasted 1 day, so good job, Twitch.
Kind of brings a whole new context and outlook to that America deserved 9/11 statement, doesn't it?
A few months later, Denims would defend Hasan when he was getting shit on for his awful takes about how hard streaming is compared to normal jobs. She tweeted, "As someone who has worked 12-hour shifts with a 4-hour commute, While going to university full-time, streaming is easily the hardest job I've had. The post-stream social exhaustion is so real I don't even know how anyone could do it every day. Denims, you're a substitute for Hasan. You do nothing but yap for several hours and watch full episodes of TV shows on stream. I'm sure it's socially draining, but besides that, it's easy work. Your community makes the laziest content possible, yet you're somehow robbed.
It's no more socially draining than doing that same thing in a room full of your friends without the stream on, which is what most people do every day as a hobby. They get off work, they go home, they watch television in a room with their friends, family, loved ones, whatever, and then they talk about whatever episode of TV they were watching, talk about Breaking Bad, talk about whatever. Yeah, and they just sit there talking and hanging out. It's just you being social. You're just doing it on the internet. It's no different than what normal people do every day. That's why this idea that it's socially draining makes no sense to most people, and they don't want to hear it. Even if it's socially draining for you because you can't handle it, doesn't fucking matter.
Rivals XQC's and Hasan's in terms of brain rot. You literally play news footage for 40 minutes straight while your dumbass gets ready for a stream. This is
Yeah, her intro screen, like I've been yelled at for my intro screen before because mine's like 10 minutes. And it's, granted, it's just like one video I made on a loop. I don't just like show the news. She just green screens the news as her open into her stream for a fucking hour while donations roll in. She's literally getting paid to not do her job at that point. She's just sitting there watching, you know, she turns on the news and just lets the news play for a fucking hour, some live news feed. It's fucking disgusting.
flat out content theft, but it's normal to those on Twitch. In May of this
I mean, at least I made my intro myself, even if it is only like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long, and then I loop it until I get ready. And it usually takes me around 10 minutes or so to tweet out the stream, to get ready, and then I sit down. So I leave that on in the background to give people time to show up. And I get yelled at because 10 minutes is too long.
this year, some drama emerged when Frogan said this in response to Ludwig promoting a pro-Palestine fundraiser.
Because I think it is worthwhile. And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate. But I won't throw it on you, you know what I mean? No thanks. And some people are going to say that, you know what I mean? That's why it's the
This is a cracker take.
difference between like, hey, I can put my
You
money...
literally did the thing you asked, though. How is this a cracker take? Also, that's racist. And she should have been banned for it.
where my mouth is, but I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a fucking debate about whether that's
Cracker-ass
worthwhile.
take. Thinking about it, like you think of the Twitch streamers that haven't said shit about Palestine. Think about the Twitch streamers that haven't, or like streamers in general. We're gonna go to YouTube as well. YouTube and Twitch streamers that haven't said shit about Palestine.
Yeah, and the people you're asking to say stuff about it are people who like have no dog in the race at all and know nothing about politics. Like, they're not even political content creators. Like, you guys are yelling at people like Papa Meat, and then he finally weighs in, and you don't like his response and talk about how he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, motherfucker, you're the one that asked him to weigh in on it. You're asking for, you know, these fucking Minecraft YouTubers. You want Charlie to weigh in. Like, you want gaming YouTubers to weigh in. You just want everybody to talk about it all the time, and then as soon as someone talks about it and doesn't agree with you, oh, they're a moron and they need to shut up.
Until engagement was threatened. You know? But the ones that got the most shit for talking about Palestine since October 7th have been me, Caroline, Hasan.
This take from her pissed a lot of people off, especially after she doubled down. So, many like Tectone from OTK began criticizing her and making fun of her weight.
Like, the only point of this is to farm outrage. Good God, fucking Jabba the Hutt just causing issues for no reason, man. Jesus Christ. Good God, fatty. Fucking going on the internet causing problems rather than going to fucking Total Gym. Get a fucking grip, you disgusting piece of shit.
Frogan began coping with the hate and couldn't handle it, so her buddies in the Poggers community came to help, that being Hasan, Caseytron, and Denims. The latter posted, "Yet another male victim of divorce court. Send your thoughts and prayers, everyone, so that he may recover one day." This was picked apart quickly, since the divorce in question occurred due to the wife cheating and posting revenge porn. Denims was never able to clap back from this, so she slowly stepped away from the drama. These are only a few of the bad takes she's had, so I want to delve deeper into some of the others she's had over the past year and a half.
At least, unlike Frogan, she knows when to shut up. And she'll back away from a drama when she realizes she's losing. Frogan just double and triples down on the cry-bullying, victimhood mentality.
On November 20th, 2022, YouTuber Shuan had posted the following to Twitter. The brand, Balenciaga, just did a interesting photo shoot for their new products recently, which included a very purposely poorly hidden court.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I don't think this was poorly hidden. I think this was like someone on their staff trying to get one snuck in there, a dog whistle, if you will, and it worked. People noticed, but apparently whoever was supposed to be signing off on this shit didn't notice at the time. It was definitely a bad look.
Document about virtual child porn. Normal stuff. She then got community noted, which, instead of fact-checking her, proved that this is all real. Although Shu often makes comments to cause amusement or laughter, this is an authentic Balenciaga marketing photograph. It contains an excerpt from the U.S. Supreme Court opinion in United States v. Williams, which upheld part of the federal child pornography law. This started a massive scandal for Balenciaga, as the other marketing photographs had children involved, one showing a little girl holding a teddy bear bondage gear on. Most agreed with Shu, though a few breadtubers she was friends with.
I don't know how you couldn't. Like, it was blatantly obvious. Somebody was calling out or dog whistling that Balenciaga, somebody that worked there was into that stuff, and they were trying to expose them. You know, they were trying to get the company looked into for some reason. Like, I mean, it was pretty obvious what was happening. Like, this was intentional. Somebody was dog whistling to the authorities about it. Oh shit, that's Yoda.
Strongly disagreed. Xander Hall and Demon Mama, who associate with Vosh's community, randomly brought up LGBTQ people.
Of course they're from Vosh's community. Of course the wannabe horse fucker is his community is going to be the one to come to this defense. Oh god.
Into discussion. This drama had nothing to do with queer people, but I guess because a shooting happened involving them in the same week, it suddenly means Shu was accusing them of being pedos. This was random as all hell, and it really seemed like Xander and Demon Mama were defending pedophilia and using the LGBTQ community as a shield. Vosh didn't get involved in this discourse because
that is exactly what they were doing. People like Vosh and his community, Demon Mama specifically, like, people like them are the reason, like, if you are a queer or LGBTQ person, they are the absolute worst representatives you can have. They do more harm than good. With people like them coming to your defense, you're better off with no defense. Just, oh my god. Yeah, like, they make you look 100 times worse. Whatever stigma, like, normies have of, you know, queer people and children or grooming or, you know, being degenerates and porn addicted and blah blah blah, any stigma they have around that, those people validate when they come to defend you because they use you as a shield. Well, yeah, it's they're disgusting.
He was probably too busy jerking off to these Balenciaga photos.
The kind of structure that I'm referring to.
Vosh used a similar tactic when a special folder got leaked, saying that because many of his fans are transgender, that critics are calling them pedos alongside him.
I like the part where he said this is a pedophile community. Yeah, did he say that with regards to there being a lot of transgenders here? Is that what he meant? Curious.
She would end up making a video about all this drama, which Denims reacted to on a Twitch stream I was able to archive. Thank me later. Basically, Denims tries to downplay the entire situation.
Rob's Media doing the Lord's work. And there's people that say that commentary channels serve no purpose, slop content, they bring no value. Archiving footage is one of the many values they bring.
To make Shuan Head look bad, which involves some very weird arguments. First, he claims that this controversy is good for Balenciaga, since now they're getting talked about by big news outlets.
They spend so much money on marketing. Something like this is a dream for Balenciaga.
No, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's the opposite. I mean, technically it is a dream, I guess, but nightmares are not the kind of dream you want to have. They're the kind that, like, this is bad press. This is bad press. The only time that, like, there's no such thing as bad press is when attention is your product. So for someone like you, there's no such thing as bad press because the more people talk about you, the more relevant you become. For a company that's selling a product and has a brand, bad press is bad for business. It means people boycott you or don't buy the thing you're selling. The attention means nothing if it's bad attention.
Balenciaga being on Fox News, Balenciaga being on like trending on Twitter for weeks, that is good for Balenciaga. Like they don't care. I don't understand why people always have to go for the most like insane conclusion when money is a good enough conclusion. Like we have seen money corrupt like industries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure having this harmful
She's
stigma around
talking.
the company is.
She's just straight talking out of her ass. So now you're agreeing that the money corrupted them into doing child bondage, and you're defending it. Like, sometimes I think she starts her sentences and she doesn't know how they're going to end, and then she just keeps going until someone stops her.
Going to help them financially. Maybe if they were stirring up beef of another fashion brand, then sure. But this is not done on purpose, and even Balenciaga had to realize how creepy these photo shoots are.
Like, I feel very uncomfortable making... I think that there is absolutely no difference between the people who say Jews control the world because there are a few Jewish people that have money. And they're like, but look at this. And wasn't it weird that these guys met up here? And wasn't this weird? I see no difference between that and this.
What is Blood yapping about?
What? Yeah, what? Okay, well, it's got nothing to do with Jewish people. You're saying that this is a conspiracy theory? You're comparing this to conspiracy theories and you see no difference between this and a regular conspiracy theory? Well, the difference between them is this happened and the others are just things that people believe happened. They're theories. They're maybes. This one was a definite, especially since they apologized for it and admitted to it. Dumbass.
This is such a bizarre deduction to make. It's not a conspiracy to say that some weird shit is going on at Balenciaga. There's proof out in the open.
Also, just so everyone knows, I am not suicidal. Just in case news comes out that I was found with 3 designer bullets in the back of my head. And I don't think Brittany Venti is either, so if either of us, we do not have information that will lead
Dude,
to
not
the
associating yourself with Brittany Venti, dude. Why do people... Oh my god, it's like the constant thing that I was so confused about. The number of times I've had disagreements.
She mentioned her name. She's not associating herself with her. And she mentioned her name because she was one of her sources that, like, she got the information from. Like, that doesn't mean that they're associated. She's just giving the girl credit for noticing it first, for being the one that discovered it, that, brought attention to it. It's a shout out, not an association.
Agreements with other content creators because I just want to, like, tell them, like, stop associating yourself with the weirdest people on the planet. Stop doing it. No. Who's Brenty?
Don't you platform bad empanada?
Brittany Venti? She's like a fucking right winger. Like an actual hardcore right winger.
Oh, she's not.
Denims, we can make the same argument about you. I mean, you're publicly friends with Hasan, Frogan, Ethan is online, and Keffels of all people. In comparison, Shu being friends with Brittany means nothing.
Sean had on her way to once again use her massive platform to provide the neo-Nazis in her audience with fodder they can use to justify the murder of gay people, but this time...
I think this is actually very accurate. I think this is a tweet that kind of blew up, and I think that it's very accurate. I think she contributes... I think she genuinely believes that, like, it's sus that a company would do, like, a punk shoot or something. And I think she takes that and she runs with it a lot, which is very sad,
I'm the day after another anti-gay terror attack. I'm sorry. Where are the gays? My post had absolutely nothing to do with LGBT.
Read the tweet, too. She didn't read it. No. That's not what they said. They didn't say that you yourself are bringing up gay people. She didn't say that. This person didn't say that you are asking for gay people to be shit on or whatever. The person tweeting this said, you did this thing knowingly when you know that conservatives will take this and they will use it as an opportunity to put pedophiles in the same group as gay people and find a reason to, like, dehumanize gay people more.
What?
Okay, at this point, it's not conservatives using this against gay people.
What? Is this how she gets viewers? Like, just tries to be as confusing as possible when trying to make a point so that idiots look at it and go, wow, she said a lot of things that I couldn't follow. That must make her smart. that must mean that she knows more than I do. Is that it? Like, because stupid people will get confused and think that because someone said something, you know, long-winded and it sounds intelligent, then it must mean they're intelligent. Maybe that's their game plan. I think it's the cleavage. It's got to be the cleavage.
That's you guys. You are the ones giving conservatives fodder, not Shu. Just the fact you're even bringing gay people up insinuates you think they're related to pedophilia. She's just weaponizing the LGBTQ community to dunk on someone she doesn't like.
My post had absolutely nothing to do with LGBT people. The Balenciaga thing in general had nothing to do with LGBT people. Where did this come from? This guy took a...
But they're not, the tweet wasn't saying that you're the one doing it. The tweet was saying that you are posting about Balenciaga Gate when you don't have enough information that proves that there's a child sex ring or whatever, and you are explicitly not telling your audience how to feel. You're saying, isn't this weird? And you're letting them feel however they want to feel.
Okay, first of all, that's called letting your audience come to their own conclusion.
Yeah, that's what normal people do. I get that you guys do propaganda, and that's the point of propaganda, is to tell people what to think instead of letting them think for themselves. Hence, I mean, that's propaganda. I had to argue with a guy in my comments once because he's like, propaganda's not lying. It's just because he says he does propaganda doesn't mean he's lying. I'm like, okay, but propaganda is by nature misleading. You're telling people what to think and what to feel. You are leading them somewhere. Are you always lying? No. Sometimes you're omitting the truth, which is also another form of lying. Or you're just misleading them, as in you're pointing them in a direction and giving them enough breadcrumbs to get there. Everything you can say might be true, but you can conflate stories that are unrelated to make it paint a narrative that is untrue. It's all some form of dishonesty, even if it's not an outright lie.
Second of all, Shu clarified her opinion in the same video.
Do I think this is some kind of Pizzagate thing where Balenciaga's like hiding children in their basement? Do I think they are literally trafficking children? I don't think that. I don't know that. I've never claimed to know that. What I do know is that this is a huge up from a billion-dollar company. If the issue they have with all of this is that I shouldn't be talking about this at a time where gay groomer rhetoric is popular, why aren't they mad at Balenciaga for doing an ad like this at the time the gay groomer thing is popular?
Yeah, why wouldn't you be mad at the company for doing it in the first place? At literally the worst time possible. It kind of makes you wonder if the execs are trying to send a message that they don't like you, you know, if they signed off on it, or whoever did it, that clearly they've got some homophobic people in their ranks. Why aren't you mad at them for that? No, because all you guys care about is drama. You don't really care about the issue or whatever issue you're tying the drama to, because that's all this is. It was about the streamers and the drama. And the same thing they do with politics now, where I'm convinced that most of them don't believe in whatever political thing that they claim to be mad about. They're just using politics as drama. Oh my God. I pressed both at the same time and it still went into the ball. I don't want to be in the ball.
Because fashion companies do weird shit all the time.
Ah yes, Denims. It's totally fine for a fashion brand to post a picture of a little girl holding a teddy bear in bondage. She's not exactly defending Balenciaga, but she's...
I believe that's some weird shit that's never been done by any other fashion company before, so to compare it to the other ones and act like this happens, like, oh, they always do weird stuff. I don't think any of them have done anything weird with children before, ever. Like, nothing even comparable to this at all.
Downplaying its severity.
You guys think this is BDSM gear?
There's a fucking ball gag in that teddy bear's mouth. Are you shitting me right now? That's got a fucking collar. That's a jock strap. A spiked jock. What do you mean? I'm sorry. Where else are... Fine, I'll give it to you on the jock strap and maybe the collar. Maybe it was meant for a dog. Blah, blah. I'm sorry. Where else, other than BDSM, are ball gags used? Fuck. Yeah, even she doesn't believe her own bullshit. She's shocked at the shit that she said. Like, oh, I just realized how bad that sounded.
Do you think that this is also BDSM gear?
Yeah, kind of. Some of it. I mean, not the whole thing, but yeah. Yeah, some of it.
You think this is BDSM gear?
Oh yeah, that's totally the same thing. Wow, Denims is so smart. She then ran.
I mean, it's not the same thing. It's not as bad as what was on the teddy bear, but yeah, kind of. I've seen porn where they were dressed like that. It absolutely could be BDSM gear. Each one of the, you have to look at the entirety of the outfit, dipshit. Each one of those parts that girl was wearing in and of itself isn't BDSM gear. No, this is another one of those. Okay, well, technically you're right, because you're right. Each one of those on their face isn't BDSM gear by itself. But when you combine them all, well, now you've created an ensemble that, you know, can act as a uniform of someone doing BDSM.
Brings up very strawman arguments, which are pretty irrelevant here. Oh, you're talking about this bad thing? Why don't you talk about...
Also context. Like, it takes on a whole different context when there's a child holding a teddy bear dressed like that compared to, you know, just showing the teddy bear by itself. You put it in the hands of a child. What's the message here? Like, even if it's not BDSM gear, why does a child have a teddy bear dressed like that? Like, I could get it if maybe it was like in an adult's bedroom and it was kind of a play on a kink or something, and or they thought it was funny because there's an adult joke behind it and they got it. But why does a kid have it?
But this other bad thing, it's just a distraction from this case. Earlier in the stream, Denims elaborates on the...
Yeah, so what about it?
With the CP-related document.
They probably did one of two things, chat, okay? They probably just printed out a bunch of law documents. You want to know why? Because they're not copyright-based. You don't have to worry about getting your shit taken down, okay?
But why do they need documents at all in the picture? I don't understand. What is this argument? What does this mean? I mean, if they just wanted, like, professional-looking pictures and stuff, they could just download templates. Just stock shit. That would be a lot easier to get than actual court documents. And what is this argument?
And you want a bunch of official-looking paperwork to make...
Yeah, you can just download templates of official-looking paperwork from stock websites for free. And they're a lot easier to get than official court documents that you have to use Freedom of Information Act to get, or oftentimes pay for. Yeah, like, you could just Google official-looking documents and print them out. Like, it would be so much easier to do that. Like, this required effort and intentionality that you were purposefully ignoring.
Make, like, the photograph, like, look good or whatever, okay? And the second thing is that... You want to know what? There is a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Okay, but that just explains how they were able to do it, not why. Could they not pick any other court case? Why use a case arguing against CP?
Why use a case at all?
Denims pretty much just piggybacked off the brain-dead takes given by Vosh's community, which wasn't a good look for her then, and especially
not... You could literally Google official document prop and just get a bunch of fake documents and then print one out. Like it's so easy and free compared to going through this much effort to get an actual document from a court case.
Not a good look now.
Too.
The thing is, there are stuff you can criticize Shoeonhead for, but all of Denim's arguments are weak.
Why does he keep going into the ball? I'm not pressing the button. It did it again.
Last spring, there was a major drama between Froggy Fresh, iDubbbz, and his wife Anissa Jomha. Basically, Froggy was barred from Creator Clash 2, a charity boxing event the couple hosted in April 2023. This caused loads of controversy, as the reason why he was kicked wasn't fully known. It could have been the Twitter beef initiated by Anissa's mom, the joke he made saying he subscribed to Anissa's OnlyFans if he...
It's that one. It was that one.
...he lost to Chris Raygun, or him training with Sam Hyde. In a video made after the event, iDubbbz confirmed the latter was the reason why. However...
It was OnlyFans joke. He won't admit it, but it was that one.
Recently, on a secret Patreon exclusive podcast, the couple said it was actually due to Froggy missing training. This is not true according to Froggy, as the trainer they hired for him didn't even want to spar with him, so Froggy trained with other people. The two handled the situation very poorly, and instead of properly responding, they made this announcement that looks like it was written by ChatGPT. They also had various friends stick up for them publicly, one of whom being Denims. What needs to be understood is that Denims and Anissa are very publicly friends. They're on a podcast together with Casey Tron, and Denims was flown out by Anissa to Crater Clash 2. Here she got her pictures taken on the red carpet, got to attend various expensive parties, and got a free hotel room. These luxuries, which were afforded to other people, were seemingly the reason why the event lost $250,000. But yeah, Denims has massive bias when it comes to this situation. Now, I'm sure I'll get comments saying I'm biased towards Froggy and Sam, and you'd be correct. However, everyone has some level of bias here. My problem is that Denims' bias is massive, and she never brings up proper evidence for her points. On 2 different occasions, she attempted to smear Froggy as a full-blown Nazi, and her reasoning is pretty dumb. So first, let's talk about this video on Denims' official YouTube channel called The Truth About Crater Clash 2, which came out before the event. It starts with her reacting to Sam Hyde's call-out after he won a boxing match.
Call out in the heavyweight division.
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that, Hasan Piker? I'm coming to kill you! In Los Angeles, at your house!
Or in the ring.
No, in real life. I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him, and wear his makeup, and his dresses, and use his skin as a coat, like the ancient Irish did.
Well, that's your winner, Sam Hyde!
Bloody.
And I know what you guys are thinking. Well, I don't know this Sam Hyde guy. Maybe it's just a joke. Maybe he's just joking. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Like, that's a pretty insane character to be throwing. He just finished a boxing fight. I don't know. I don't know how to tell you this. He's been saying for the longest time that it's all a joke and it's all just a funny meme. And it's really not. It's not. The dude is an unironic Nazi.
If you think
so, when he says crazy, and so when other people say crazy and outlandish shit, it's not a joke, it's not a meme, he means it. But, when you want soldiers to get PTSD or America deserves 9/11, those are just jokes and misunderstandings. Rules for thee and not for me, huh? Same old playbook.
Think this is anything but a joke, you're a retard. Full stop. Also, isn't this the same bitch who put a bounty on someone? Then Denim starts talking about Froggy Fresh.
True!
Understanding, Froggy Fresh was just a normal person, normal content creator, and over the past month, for some bizarre fucking reason, he has decided to be completely indoctrinated and convinced by Sam Hyde into just becoming like another right-wing troll. No, he wasn't trained by Sam Hyde the whole time. This is a common misconception that Froggy was being trained by Sam Hyde. This isn't true. The people who host Crater Clash, iDubbbz, aka Ian and Anissa, they are not fans of Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde has threatened them. Sam Hyde has doxed them. Sam Hyde has sent people to harass them. iDubbbz has a pretty good documentary.
What? Who? When? I hadn't heard about that one. Unless you're talking about the people in that documentary, in which case, no. He didn't send them to harass iDubbbz. iDubbbz came to him, and it was just a prank, bro. Pretty elaborate troll, but that's not the same. I don't know that Sam Hyde has sent anyone to iDubbbz or Anissa's house and, do the things that you guys have done to Ethan, or anything even remotely similar.
On Sam Hyde, and they don't like him. And Sam Hyde has done nothing but just be a complete piece of shit and be a completely annoying piece of human garbage to them.
Okay, first of all, Froggy has always had some edge to him. He wasn't indoctrinated. He dislikes Sam Hyde's comedy. Second of all, how has Sam doxed them? There's no proof of this. Also, he didn't lead a targeted harassment campaign. He just occasionally shit-talked them on stream. Plus,
yeah, address the fact that he's never sent anyone to them. I feel like I would have heard about that. I feel like that would have been just big internet drama that people would have talked about, especially if there was any evidence of it whatsoever. But you just talk out your ass and say nothing, and everyone in your chat's going to take everything you say at face value. That's the game that you guys play. God, I hate Yodi. So fucking hard to hit.
Nissa began shit-talking him first. Oh, and here's the best part.
And he's just started posting, let me see if I can find it. He was just posting Nazi shit. Okay? I don't know how to explain it.
I mean, yes, he's a Nazi, but that doesn't equal any of the other things that you've said. You still got to prove that he sent people to their house and harassed them. Being a Nazi doesn't make every action he ever takes bad. It doesn't make him guilty of anything you want to accuse him of. You got to prove some of this shit.
I don't know how else to explain it other than he was posting Nazi shit.
Do you have any actual evidence for that? because all he did was retweet posts of him training with Sam.
I know he openly posts Nazi shit now, but I don't know if he was back then. So I'll say maybe it wasn't. Maybe he's not guilty here. I mean, I would believe it because he does openly post Nazi shit now. But back then, maybe he didn't. I don't know.
She acts like they were doing the Nazi salute in between sparring sessions while Hitler's speeches were playing in the background. This is her only evidence in claiming that Froggy is some sort of neo-Nazi who hates all Jewish people.
I'm kind of disappointed in Charlie for defending Froggy Fresh. Yeah, this was it. I disagree with this Charlie post. I'm really disappointed by this. Kicking him for Twitter controversy after months of training is brutal. I don't think any jokes he made were intended to be mean-spirited or shit on anyone. Hopefully they reconsider this decision. Froggy Fresh was literally spreading misinfo about the creators. This isn't like a matter of like, it was just a little internet joke.
What's the misinfo?
That's not what it was. Like, he was tweeting like things that aren't real. So the account isn't even here anymore. The tweet isn't even here. So I think Anissa had tweeted saying that there's a big announcement coming soon, and someone replied saying, hope it's about replacing the imp, which I think is talking about Froggy Fresh. And I don't think this was confirmed that this was like Anissa's mom. And then
it was.
Starts like shitting on the creators of the fight. Better an imp.
Her mom openly admitted to it later. It was confirmed.
Than a simp. Shout out your boy iDubbbz. Anissa, come get your mom.
Yes, that was Anissa's mom. There's a Kotaku article from 2016 that mentions how involved she is in her daughter's internet drama. Her mom was harassing Froggy on Twitter, so he clapped back. If you don't want your fighters calling you a simp, then don't have your mother-in-law call one of your fighters an imp.
Just wanted to report on that event a little because I've seen a lot of people misrepresenting some of the stuff that happened. I just wanted to be clear that the details of the case are so insane and absurd, no one would ever put up with that. And the sad thing is, like, Charlie is doing the thing where he's only seeing it from the perspective of the fighter. But I think if he sat down and he actually looked at everything and he put himself in the creator's shoes, he wouldn't have put up with that shit either.
Okay, if you have all this info, then tell it. What's happening?
Yeah, that is one of my pet peeves, is when people sit there and scream about info and then don't show it. Clearly, you've got the ability to show stuff. You're reacting to a video here. You can pull things up. Stop the video for a minute, prove your point, and then go on. If you have evidence, show it. People that make all these claims about stuff and then never show it, it's like you're basically just admitting you're lying. I fucking had one of those with Imrao in his comments section where he said some like really dumb shit in his little hit piece on Cameron. I don't know anything about Cameron. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's wrong. I don't know. Like, from what I understand of the Cameron thing, it just sounds like teenage relationship drama being blown out of proportion. None of it sounded very serious to me, but he's taking it a step further and calling the kid an outright rapist and saying all of this stuff. And one of the things he said was, well, first of all, one of the things he said was just flat out wrong on its face, and I hate this attitude. And it seems to be, I think social media started it. It seems to be popular among younger people, this idea that if someone makes an accusation on you, then you have to prove your innocence. Because somebody he was in the video that he was reacting to was saying that, like, the onus of proof is on the accuser. And he's like, no, the onus of proof is 100% on Cameron. I'm like, fucking how? He's been accused of a thing. He doesn't have to prove a negative. Like, the onus of proof is always on the accuser. And anyone who tells you otherwise doesn't understand how the court system works. Innocent till proven guilty. That is literally how the law works. That is factually accurate. You are innocent until proven guilty. If someone makes an accusation, it is then on them to prove it. You don't have to go to court to prove your innocence. They have to prove your guilt. That is how it works. But the other thing he said was, I pointed out that, like, he was saying, because he was reacting to the content cop by iDubbbz, and he was saying that's actually a good point by iDubbbz there. Oh no, he was reacting to Cameron's content cop, but he showed iDubbbz's content cop as like a comparison in his video, and he's like, that's a good point by iDubbbz. And he was talking about the point where iDubbbz brought up the Reddit mod from Destiny's community that like that is on Ethan's side or blah blah blah. That Reddit mod that iDubbbz references in that video isn't the same guy from Destiny's community. They both have Icarus in their name, but they're two different people. And he was like, I've already disproven. He was like, I've already explained it to you. I don't feel like I don't feel like looking it up to disprove you. Like, yeah, anytime someone doesn't want to prove a thing after they've been called out, like, really, you don't feel like looking it up? Here, I'll do it for you. And it took me 2 minutes. I found it on, I found a clip from Nicholas Iorio stream, because that's where it happened. Nicholas Iorio was reacting to the content caught by iDubbbz on H3, and he got to that part in it, and he was like, wait, I know the Destiny mod. That's not the same name. Is this the same guy? Like, is this confirmed the same guy? And that guy actually happened to be in Diorio's chat when it happened, and he donated to Diorio to be like, hi, I'm Destiny's mod. I'm Icarus so-and-so. That's not me he's talking about, but he linked to me in his video. So he's clearly confused. Yeah, like, I'm getting a lot of harassment from people over this, and it's not even me in the video. So I linked that to him to show it to him. He hadn't replied back, but I just hate when people respond with, I don't feel like looking it up. I just know I'm right. Oh, okay. You just want your audience to believe you're right. You're not right. If you were right, you would have that information on hand and you would pull it up. Simple. Simple as that. And if you can't pull it up, then fine, admit you're wrong. It's not that hard. I do it all the time. I don't know everything. I've been wrong before. But when I have information, I'll show it. And sometimes I'm shown bad information. Sometimes I look at something and I believe it, and it turns out to be bad information. That happens. Happens to all of us. Don't double down on it though. Just admit you made a bad call. We all make bad calls, man. Sorry, a little irritated with Imral live. Not that it matters. I don't know who watches Imral. And I know he's friends with Queeman, and Queeman's been dick sucking Hasan lately too. I used to like Queeman's content, but man, his like Ethan coverage is just, it's been so incredibly like Hasan glazy and bad. It's making me lose respect for him.
Here is that Anissa gave Denims certain pieces of information so that she could defend the event. She expects everyone else to know why Froggy was kicked, but it was never officially mentioned. Denims knows it's because of Sam, but won't elaborate on it. The same thing happened with Alana Pierce and Harley Borenstein. This video was heavily criticized by viewers, with Froggy himself commenting, "You should consider actually getting your facts straight before you make such inflammatory accusations about people." Over a month later, Denims would stream her reaction to iDubbbz's Froggy Fresh video, where she doubles down.
But someone was saying, well, what about Harley? Harley from Epic Mealtime is still, he continued to box. And the difference between Harley and Froggy Fresh is that, first of all, Harley was at one point trained by Sam, but that wasn't his current trainer. Second of all, Harley has been one of the only fighters, maybe one or two other fighters, that has publicly used their platform to stand up against Sam Hyde and against Froggy Fresh. Because Harley has had the time to take a step back and realize, oh, this Sam Hyde guy is a fucking maniac.
No, it's probably because iDubbbz was pressuring him too. If he stood up for Froggy and Sam, he would have been kicked too. Harley and Sam are still publicly friends. He still retweets and comments on.
Yeah, that's true. You're leaving out the actions of the people on your side who were clearly drawing a line in the sand. And hey, anyone who agrees with them is off the card. Yeah, they were acting like fucking children about it.
Sam's Twitter posts and watches Fish Tank live.
This is really a lot of weird, tender, soft people. Creator Clash people are real, like, these type of people. You know what I mean?
Ableism!
How the fuck is that ableism? He's saying they're soft, not disabled. Denims then reads out the text messages between Ian and Froggy.
Being soft is a disability, son. Have you looked at the younger men this generation?
And interprets them.
Fucking hate weak-willed men.
As Froggy being an asshole. And while he was being apprehensive, Ian was being a snake here. Froggy keeps asking over and over again if Ian will kick him out from the event if he trains with Sam, and iDubbbz keeps responding with, I don't know, it depends. Froggy wants a yes or no answer and never gets it. It's very clearly Ian trying to gaslight Froggy into not working with Sam, instead of directly telling him like an event organizer should.
If you don't know Sam.
Yeah, he's being a child. They were children the way they ran this thing. They are clearly not fit to run an event of this size. They are unable to be professional. It's not a skill that they have.
Hyde is, he's, whether or not you love him or hate him, you have to recognize him as, he's the most talented comedian alive. He's the most talented comedian alive.
I don't know about that, but I mean, I'm not going to argue his talent. The dude is funny. He is also a neo-Nazi. Most talented alive?
our generation. He's gonna probably be the greatest comedian of all time. He's insanely.
George Carlin begs to differ, son.
Dude, get his cock out of your throat, man.
Yeah, the Denims ain't wrong. You are glazing on like ridiculous levels here. Yeah, he's not that good. I mean, he's a comedian. He's funny. He ain't that goddamn funny. Calm the fuck down, Chief. Really? Greatest of all time? Better than Carlin, Pryor, Murphy? Are you fucking out of your goddamn mind?
For someone who likes to go around calling other people whores, you sure are whoring your fucking orifices out, does Mr. Sam Hyde. Like, you can just take the cock out.
This is fair criticism to make. Froggy was definitely being a bit cringe with that statement. However, this coming from Denims is hilarious. Only 20 minutes earlier.
Yep, again the glass houses thing, but she's not wrong. This is one of the rare Denims W's, but the hypocrisy involved in the statement coming from you makes it that much harder to take seriously. Yeah, right message, wrong messenger.
He self-admittedly starts tipping over Anissa.
Also, I'm gonna go full simp mode. I don't care. She's not here. She can't see this. She can't see me simping on full throttle. But she recently beach blonde, like platinum blonde.
Something glass house, something throwing stones.
Yeah. But she recently changed her.
She didn't get the joke. She didn't get the reference. Someone called her out and said the glass house thing, and she didn't fucking catch it. A fucking dumbass.
Hair, and it is IMO. I think it looks so good on her. It is not easy to pull off like white hair, and I think she does a really good job.
I'll beg to differ on that one. She does not. White is not her color. Good God, how many filters do you use, bitch?
I think she pulls it off really well.
The difference here being that Denims is sipping over a married woman, and Froggy is praising one of his idols. Denims was really reaching in these streams, with her main claims being that he's an ableist Nazi who lied about everything while not actually showing any good evidence for these points. The only decent point she makes is bringing up the alleged donation Sam gave to the Daily Stormers Defense Fund back in 2017, but she messes that up too. She initially claims he donated to Nick Fuentes, until being corrected. Also, I had to say this, but it's never been confirmed or denied if he donated to them. It could have easily been one of his fans, since they love to blame him for various travesties as a meme. Plus, if Sam was a Nazi, I don't think he'd be this publicly supportive of Brian from Fish Tank. It also doesn't prove that Froggy is a Nazi. Froggy just thinks Sam is funny. Not too long ago, both Willie Maxwell and Mudahar of Some Ordinary Gamers released hit pieces on Keffals that finally brought her various scandals into the public eye. These include her lying about the swatting, lying about which website doxed her, misappropriating $100,000 in GoFundMe money for streaming equipment and drugs, having creepy interactions with minors, promoting a site that sends homemade drugs to minors, with the box having a lolly.
Yeah. Defending Keffals after the sheer amount of shit that she did, that was confirmed, some of which by Keffals herself, and still defending that? I mean, she admits to grooming kids and trying to talk them into being trans, telling them how to get HRT and hormones without having to get a prescription or permission from their parents, get them from foreign countries, or even how to make them in your own bathtub. Like, even coined a phrase for grooming children into being trans. Children. People who hadn't hit puberty yet. And telling them that, hey, before you hit puberty, you need to go ahead and start your transition, and convincing them that they're trans. She called it pink pilling them. And all of this is uncontested. Like, that came out of Keffals' own mouth. There were recordings of it. After all that comes out, and to still defend her, I think that's one of the most disgusting things that Denims ever did, and shows the character of anyone that would do it. I mean, if you ever need proof that this is all just team sport shit, and it's not actually like a belief system for them, they will justify anything on both sides. Anything they do against Ethan is justified because he's on the opposite side, and anything done by people like Keffals, even the worst of the worst on our side, is okay because they're on our side. So it's everything's okay on their side, and everything you want to do to the other side is also okay. It's disgusting, dude. no morals whatsoever.
On it, knowing about the grooming that occurred in her Discord server, and a lot more. These videos show loads of evidence, so much so that Keffels can properly dispute them. Instead, she just calls these guys transphobic, with no actual basis to it. She said Mutahar's thumbnail was transphobic.
She eventually did admit to all of it, and I believe Keffels still defended her after that, or I think eventually, like, I think after Keffels finally disappeared from the internet, people like her stopped defending her. But for a while there, after all of that came out, they were still trying to defend her, which is, yeah, like if you ever need proof that it's a team sports thing, there it is, man.
And that he used the wrong pronouns. He used her preferred pronouns, and the art in the thumbnail was drawn by Just a Worm. He draws everybody like that. I mean, this is pretty much just a trace over image.
Yeah, it's his art style.
Of her with a few exaggerations. Keffels herself is...
It's like complaining that you hire Trey Parker and Matt Stone to do art, and they made you look like a South Park character. It's their art style.
Use art from Just a Worm, so everybody clowned on her for this take. Besides Tipster and a few rabid fans, there's one person who's still very supportive of Keffels, Denims. These two have been friends for quite some time, with the two...
Yeah, she did still defend her, even after she admitted it and got caught, and then ran away from the internet. Recently she came back, and I believe she's extremely high, coked up, or drunk on all her streams. I don't know, man. She looks strung out now. She needs to just stay gone from the internet. That chick is not built to handle this stuff.
Seemingly meeting up at TwitchCon 2022. During this event, Keffels will go up to Melina, threatening to get Destiny's YouTube channel banned. This is due to the fact that Destiny had been exposing her various lies in a manifesto, so Keffels became unhinged as usual.
Keffels went to go, and she went up to Melina, and she was shaking. Like, it was like she was so anxious or so angry she was shaking, right? And she said, "Tell your husband, if he doesn't stop coming for me, I'm going to get his YouTube channel deleted." No fucking memes. That happened, okay? I'm not shitting you. That happened yesterday at the partner party, okay? And then she walked off, and everyone was just kind of like, Jesus.
When Denims was told about this by somebody, this was her response.
Keffels walked up to Melina and said,
"Okay, here's $1."
She shook her hand and said, "I'm going to get your husband's channel deleted from YouTube if he doesn't want it."
Yeah. Especially
Chuck Logic did a thing on it. It's on LSF right now. There's no, you can't film inside the partner party, so there's no video of it or anything.
God, she's such a giga chat.
I know, it's such a chat.
Oh, yeah, and yeah, so she encouraged the behavior. Okay.
Giga chat shit you can...
She's such a giga chad. By the way, in case you didn't know, okay, Denims.
The only one capable of taking down your stream career after how long you've been on the internet and all the shit you've been through, Destiny, the only one capable of taking it down is you. You're doing a pretty good job after the Pixie thing, man. Keep it up. Good moves, Destiny. Keep it up.
Denims is literally, has become, Anna's chill now, okay? Anna's in the past. Denims is the new that. Like, every single time, I don't know if you guys know this, I have to keep reminding you of this. Every single time I have big drama with somebody, Denims is messaging them in the background, like offering support. It's like, "Oh my God, you got abused by Destiny too, blah, 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 blah." I don't know if you guys are aware of this now, but it happened in the last big drama that I was in. People message me like, "Do you know this person?" Or like, "Oh shit, like this person just messaged me." It's like, well, I don't know, that's so fucking weird. Like, Denims literally is DMing people in the background of every big drama, trying to like flip people over in her fucking weird sociopathic sex cult or whatever the fuck they do over there. It's actually insane.
On May 12, 2024, Denims booted up a livestream titled, "Mutahar decides to be transphobic instead of get a personality." But before she comes on, she plays other people's videos for almost 2 hours.
2 hours? I thought her intro was only an hour of playing the... Oh, I'm sorry. I gave her too much credit. I said she was playing the news because she fancied herself a politics streamer. No, she's just stealing other content. That's not the news. That's fucking Sam Cedar. Those are just other YouTubers. You're just playing their content without reacting to it. That is content theft. That's not fair use. You're just throwing it up with your fucking overlay over it. Fucking piece of shit.
Straight up content theft. She starts off by talking about the recent Keffels drama, where she immediately tries to smear Mutahar as a transphobic bigot.
So, Mutahar made this video, he captioned this Twitter post, uploaded a new video regarding a serious fraud of an activist known as Keffels. Over an hour of deconstructing her various lies and examining her terrible lies will prove to you why she is a danger to people. that they represent and those surrounding them. Okay, now let's talk about a couple things. I'm only interested right now in talking about the thumbnail. Okay? I'm only interested in talking about the thumbnail. Maybe we can watch some of the video. To be honest,
We won't talk about the contents of the video because he was correct. She didn't want to have to deal with that. And she also never covered it. I just want to talk about the thumbnail, the one gross thing that we can point out about him. Nice cherry picking.
the video itself, I don't care about. That's not.
I don't care about your facts. My feelings are more important, and I feel like my friend is right.
Not relevant. It's not important. I only care about the thumbnail. For anyone who doesn't know, Keffals is a trans woman, and this is a very gross portrayal of someone who is a trans woman. This is like hitting all of the common stereotypes, like trying to make them as quote unquote gross looking as possible or as manly as possible, or whatever. And
I mean, it's that guy's art style. He makes everybody look gross, including straight white men. Also, if I had the money, I'd pay him to make one of my thumbnails of me. I kind of want to see what I'd look like in his art style. Take it as a badge of honor, because I have a sense of humor, you dumb.
And you could even see in the replies to this post.
Ah, fuck, I said C word. I'm going to have to censor that in the VOD.
There are people that are saying, like, don't care, I'm still not going to use his, referencing Keffals, real name or something like that, right? A bunch of people in the replies just being actively, openly transphobic.
Can you give us any examples of that?
Yeah, you going to show a screenshot of any of these comments?
If there were people being transphobic, Muda isn't going to support these people. If you actually watch the video, you'll know that he condemns those type of people.
Anti-trans sentiment is banned on a lot of major platforms, and as a result, the site has become a place for those opinions to effectively congregate. Now again, I want to start off by saying I don't endorse or support that behavior. In fact, I outright condemn it, all right? There's no reason to have any form of hate on the internet. That being said, all right, whatever goes on the site does fall under free speech and is entirely legal, okay?
After yapping about leftism, Denim says this.
She's a grifter? I don't think she's a grifter. I think she's too opinionated to be a grifter. I think she says exactly what she means. There are people who give me grifter vibes. Keffals is not one of them. So if you just...
She absolutely grifted. She absolutely grifted. And then scammed her audience out of money. Yeah, she absolutely grifted for profit, took that profit and ran. And went on a fucking European vacation tour while running. Got caught. So... in case you were wondering if Denims was a good judge of character.
dislike what she says, then you could just say, like, I don't like what she says. But I don't think she's a grifter.
No, she is a grifter. She extorted
Yes.
$100,000 from supporters under the guise of sticking
Yeah,
up
there
for
we go.
trans people, and then spent it on a nice trip to Europe and drugs. She uses the trans community to her own benefit.
I understand people have criticism of me. I don't think I am above being critiqued. That said, was it really necessary to use a trans...
She's realizing that the trans community that she's supposed to be a, not just an advocate for, but a representative of, is the easiest community on the fucking internet to pander to. And she did so for profit.
transphobic caricature of me in the thumbnail while also not using my pronouns in the video announcement. Ryan Sear, and then I don't know what happened to Ryan Beard. I'm gonna be honest.
He became based. His video on Destiny was really good. If you guys haven't seen it, we watch it on stream, but you can also just go watch his. It's a really good video.
Who was it that cooked him? Was it FD Signifier? Was it Gremlo? Or was it Sean? Someone cooked his ass, and it was like the 7th time or something that like Ryan was talking about Palestine, and it was saying like, you guys, these protesters, something, and then Sean was like, you've talked about Palestine this many times, and the only times you've talked about it in a positive light was telling people to go vote Biden.
Hey, why don't you actually address what he said to Keffals instead of getting off topic? He's literally proving that Mudahar wasn't being transphobic, but you ignore it because it completely dismantles the narrative you're trying to prove. And by the way, the tweet she's referring to is when Ryan criticized Noah Sampson for wanting to collaborate with Bad Empanada, a bread tuber who has harassed and doxed multiple different people over petty shit. Then Denims focuses on Just a Worm.
You can't just make the same joke at everybody because that's not how society works. You can't just do that. Things don't exist in a vacuum. Just because you draw everyone with big, long noses, it doesn't mean it's okay to do it with a Jewish person. Yeah, or like...
No, it is. It's okay to have a consistent art style.
With talking about eating my cat.
If you only did it for a Jewish person, then it would be a problem. See, that's the difference. If you do it like that all the time, and that's just how you draw noses, then someone can point at it and be like, look at how he's drawing Jewish noses. Yeah, he's drawing them the same as he draws other noses. So that means he sees them as equal. Yeah, like it just doesn't work. You can only point that out if he's doing it specifically different for Jewish people. Not the other way around. How was that your read?
Hey, maybe I shouldn't make a cat-eating joke around my Asian friends. Because chances are they probably already have to deal with lots of harassment and people saying that type of shit to them. Maybe I shouldn't encourage more of that behavior.
How's you doing that privately in front of your friend to joke about it encouraging more of that behavior if no one else heard it? Also, yeah, you can make jokes with your friends that other people do maliciously. Context matters. Your friends might find it funny when you do it. It's good to have a sense of humor about that kind of stuff. Like, you guys can laugh about the ridiculous jokes without it being derogatory because they know you don't mean it. They don't know if a stranger meant it. That's the difference. When I make, fucking racist jokes with my wife, she knows I'm not racist. But some rando on the street did it, there's a problem.
You don't get to say, I do this to everyone, so it's okay that I'm doing it to you. And so, yeah, you draw, and notice, by the way,
yes, you do.
How all of these are dudes. I can't tell if this one, I don't know who this one is supposed to be, so it's hard to say, but notice how all these are dudes, by the way.
Are they all dudes? I don't think that one's a dude. No, there's a couple chicks on there. There's Sniper Wolf. Yeah, he's done chicks before. I don't think she can tell which ones of them are chicks. I think the fourth one from the top is a chick. I know 3 to the right of Vosh right there in the middle is Sniper Wolf, the one with the glasses. Not sure of the bottom row. Maybe? Can't tell. Some of them I genuinely can't tell. I think the one all the way on the left on the top row that's kind of cut off, I think both of those all the way on the left, top and bottom row, are both chicks. Might be. It's hard to tell. And maybe that's kind of the point in his art style.
You can't just be like, well, I draw all men ugly, so it's okay.
Wait a minute. Would you have the same logic for a fucking Snapchat filter? If there was a Snapchat filter that made everyone's nose big and then it made a Jewish guy's nose big, would you call it racist? Like, that's essentially what he's doing. He's a human Snapchat filter. He applies the same filter to every person he draws. That's a good analogy. He's a fucking Snapchat filter.
Okay that I drew this woman ugly? Oh, wait, this one's Sniper Wolf. I noticed.
Damn. Couldn't get my rock on trail.
I do this to everyone. I make all of my caricatures really ugly and nasty, so it's okay for me to do it.
Yes.
To a trans person?
Yes, you could just see in real time that she realized what she was saying was okay. That she just literally described why it was okay. She realized that what she said was true.
Notice how she ignores the drawing of her best friend, Anissa. This guy draws everybody equally, but she wants Kevels to be the exception because of her identity. Being trans isn't a shield from criticism and mockery. She barely elaborates.
They damn sure will pretend like it is, though. Oh my god. Maybe not so much now that Twitter's become kind of a cesspool. They all moved over to Blue Sky, but I used to see it all the time on Twitter. People got called transphobic all the time. Like just disagreeing with a trans person on Twitter made you transphobic.
It's on this point. It basically says, drawing her this way is transphobic because I said so. Denims then tries to call Muda Nazi adjacent because Stone Tosser tweeted the video.
If you're defending a position, take a look around on who else is defending the position with you, and then reevaluate. If the Nazis are in favor of this, I'm not, actually. I don't.
Because one person you don't like agrees with something, so it must be the worst thing ever. It's just very childish, and Denims never even watches the video.
His video is the first I have ever heard of Kevil's. Is it not accurate? I haven't seen it, so I'm not claiming that it's accurate. I'm only talking about the thumbnail. I haven't even started. Whoa. Let's reel back. Let's stay on top. First, I want to talk about Mutar and his very questionable thumbnail. And we can get into the details and everything in a second.
Well, that was a fucking lie. She never even pulls Muta's video up on YouTube. She
Nope.
just switches topics to discussing Ben Shapiro. Denims doesn't want to watch the video because she knows it'll be damning. Because in her mind, who cares if this person is horrible if they're her friend? I mean, she's friends with Hasan and all these other scummy streamers who only care about clout and money. She thinks sticking up for couples will make her look good in the eyes of her audience, but it instead made some of them question her. In my last video, I mentioned how many of these big streamers in the poggers community like Denims are very publicly supportive of adult content. I pointed out the hypocrisy in this, as these guys will extensively call out gambling and the misogyny of the manosphere, yet won't call out adult content under the same reasoning. They go for this whole think of the children argument, but don't give a shit about young.
Yeah, the same thing applies. Like, you can't be okay with gambling on Twitch and then not be okay, or you can't be okay with girls sharing their OnlyFans shit on Twitch but not be okay with gambling. Like, they're both things children shouldn't be exposed to. They're both things that have an age limit, like you have to be an adult to participate in. So equal playing field. Either you're fine with content that's age gated being shown to children on Twitch, or you're not. You can't selectively pick like which parts of that content you're okay with.
On kids getting porn addictions from OnlyFans models who advertise themselves on 12+ platforms like Twitch. I went more in detail on this.
And some of those were later discovered that they weren't OF models. Some of them were literal porn stars actually started going on to Twitch during the hot tub meta. There were literal porn stars who discovered that they could make a ton of money on Twitch compared to doing their OnlyFans. So this was money that went straight into their pocket and they didn't have to go through a producer or something, unlike doing porn. And OnlyFans, it's hard for a porn star to make money on, despite the fact that they're probably more popular than most OnlyFans girls, are more recognizable, because so much of the stuff you want to see them do can be seen for free elsewhere. Whereas, you know, an exclusively an OnlyFans model, their content's only on OnlyFans. But they learned that, whoa, where can they get an exclusive audience that won't have access to their free stuff? Oh, on Twitch, because that audience is underage and they can't access the hub where the rest of their content is. So this is a way to advertise to minors. It's advertising porn to minors. That's all it is. So if you're okay with that on Twitch, then you have to be okay with the gambling too.
So the last episode, with my main source of pointing...
I'm okay with neither, just so we're clear. But right now, I think like the biggest threat to minors when it comes to gambling isn't Twitch or Kick. I know everybody's going to point at Kick. I think it's sports betting.
About this hypocrisy being the previously mentioned podcasts of Anissa, Denims, and Casey Tron. In the same episode where they talk about how addictive gambling is, they also mention how people who call out adult content under the same reasoning are just prudes who probably watch Andrew Tate. They say this not to engage in any worthwhile discussions about the topic. Something I have yet to mention is that Denims also does OnlyFans, so she has a big incentive to defend this industry. Now to my knowledge, she doesn't post nudes, just lewd cosplay she posts to Instagram and Twitter for free. God, that's gotta be even lamer to buy. So her bias is pretty apparent, and that's led her to have some pretty awful takes on the subject, as she does with anything else she talks about. So late last year...
Wonder how much of his, oh god, it's a crazy fucking screen to pause on. Wonder how much of her content Rob's Media had to buy before he realized she doesn't get naked. Which I guess props her for not getting naked, but it also kind of undermines your point about you being okay with that, but not okay enough to do it yourself. Yeah. The hypocrisy. Yeah, like there's even hypocrisy on your own OnlyFans that you're defending.
Year, Twitch changed the rules to allow artistic nudity, which they changed pretty quickly. They've always had
within a day, 24 hours.
Problem with young women showing way too much skin for a 12+ website, but this made it even worse. You had various degenerate ethos like Morgue Pie, Strawberry Tabby, and Fire Dancer self-censoring themselves to extreme extents. I mean, Tabby was straight up showing her asshole.
Behold! They argue that they weren't actually naked, because they put those censorships on their stream, that they weren't actually naked, but they put up the censor bars to make it look like they're naked. Yeah, no, but you can't prove I was actually naked. Close enough. Close enough.
Old.
Censored nudity is still nudity. It's still against Twitch's TOS.
True gaming in its purest form. This
is what streaming is all about. Now, the censoring on her butthole was done by me. I felt I had to, just to make sure that this video would be safe to be uploaded, but make no mistake, while live, it was not censored at all. This was the director's cut. Full-blown poop shoot action, barely covered by, like, the tiniest string of fabric.
Now, as you'll know by now, Denims was in support of this behavior, posting, "Do straight men even like women? Imagine seeing one of the most beautiful women alive and thinking, this is awful and I never want to see this again. Okay bro, more from me I guess. Good job at missing the point once again, Denims. Nobody's mad that we're seeing some tits. We just don't think that it's right that these women are doing it on a site filled with lots of young teenagers."
Yeah, I'm not mad at tits being shown. I'm mad at tits being shown to children. 13-year-olds. My daughter's 11. I would not be happy if in 2 years she was old enough to get on Twitch, and I, as a parent who was following the rules, decided, okay, this is a platform that's safe for you, and then I put her on there, and some guy flashes fucking dong to my 13-year-old daughter on their platform. That's supposed to be safe for 13-year-olds. I don't care if he flashed it and covered it with a black censor bar and then showed his ass. It's too much. Okay, that wouldn't even make it into a PG-13 movie. Not cool.
The reason why these women do it is because regular porn sites are oversaturated, so they migrate to Twitch where this content won't belong. There they attract those younger viewers, as it's a much easier website to access. Twitch doesn't do much about it until they get mass backlash. Denims knows all this, but acts dumb so that can keep happening. She somewhat understands this point due to Vosh of all people, but still defends this stuff. About a month later, she'd react to Shoe1Head's video on the topic called The Twitch Thought Epidemic. That title alone probably pissed off Denims. She immediately starts with this insane logic.
But Twitch is a website for kids, advertised for users 12 and up, and predominantly used by young boys. And the question on everyone's mind is, are these evil Jezebels preying on today's youth? Or are they simply...
Hold up. Use of Twitch by minors. The Twitch services are not available to persons under the age of 13. If you are
13 to 17 are still minors.
Between the ages of 13 and the age of a legal majority in your jurisdiction of residence, you may only use the Twitch services under the supervision of a parent or legal guardian who agrees to be bound by these terms of services.
Obviously, kids are going to lie about their age or go on.
Yeah, that's called a legal scapegoat. I'm not sure how well it would hold up in court, but basically you're passing the buck so that if something does get shown to children that's not supposed to, which clearly it does, you can go, oh, it's the parents' fault for not supervising them, even though we told them it's okay for 13-year-olds. We also told them that they should be watching it with their kids, and if they leave them unattended with Twitch, they might see. Yeah, that's not. I don't think that shit would fly in court at all.
Go on there without their parents' permission. This isn't Club Penguin, and Denims knows it's not a good argument to make, so she continues.
But Denims, kids are gonna go on the internet anyways. Okay, do you want to ban Pornhub too? Because that argument is fucking stupid.
They did that though. It is banned in many states, mine included, and will probably end up getting banned in more.
If you're gonna sit here and look me in the eyes and say, and goalpost, mind you, pearl clutch goalpost, well, the platform is for teenagers, it's for kids. Guess what? They literally say if you're a kid, you need parent supervision. Yeah, well, do you actually expect kids to ask for parent supervision? Okay, should we just nuke the internet of anything R-rated? Since kids are just gonna lie anyways? It's so stupid. It's just so dumb. Oh my God. No, everybody knows that kids will get on the internet and lie about being 18 on Twitch, but when they go to Pornhub, they don't lie about their age.
Kids are... Because they didn't have to put in an age on there before. They do now. Again, all of the things you said just age like milk because those things changed. You now have to have, like, the states where it's banned, mine included, is you can only access it by signing up for an account. The same way you'd have to sign up for an account on Twitch. But, like, you can still watch Twitch without an account. That's another thing. You can still watch Twitch without an account at all. You can't watch the hub at all in my state without an account. Like, you have to register for an account. If you go there and you're not signed in, you get a page with a video from the CEO of Twitch telling you that this has been banned in your state. You will need a blah, blah, blah. And then trying to convince you to sign to, vote on some legislation to get that overturned. But, yep, the only way to get an account on Pornhub, you have to have a verified account in my state, which means you have to show Pornhub your state-issued ID. You have to give them your personal information to use the hub now.
They're obviously going to find porn on the internet, but it shouldn't be this accessible on a 12+ platform. This stuff was pushed by the algorithm too. It wasn't hidden. It's not a porn issue.
The CEO himself showed it almost exclusively on his phone when showing off the new Twitch app and how it functions like TikTok, which is also something that is very popular with kids and targeted at a younger audience. So you're trying to make Twitch look like that kind of app. Twitch is specifically targeting minors, and then when he pulls it up to show it off on a live stream, he's logged into his personal account, and his algorithm is just, every time he swiped up to get a new video, it was just more and more and more Gooner material. It was more of that. That was his feed. So that still happens to this fucking day.
It's a Twitch issue.
Two things. One, seeing some shoulders isn't going to give your kid permanent trauma.
Yeah, it ain't the shoulders they're pissed about, sweetheart, and you know it. That's why every time you do a stream, ironic, which you're smart enough not to do it for this stream, pretty weird that this stream, the one stream where you're talking about this stuff, is the one stream you're not showing cleavage.
God damn prudish motherfuckers. All right? I promise you, your kids are not going to get traumatized seeing a bit of shoulder.
God damn, she's just queen of the fucking childless takes. This is a childless individual, and it shows every time she has one of those takes. Everything she says comes from the perspective of someone who doesn't have children.
Show me one clinical trial that has proven that kids will get permanently traumatized seeing above boob cleavage jiggling.
It wasn't just shoulders. They were showing off almost everything. Also, this softcore stuff could lead them to getting addicted when they seek out more.
There are studies that show it leads to porn addiction and has other real-world consequences, like an unhealthy relationship with sex as a whole. Yeah, those do exist, but we're going to ignore those.
Pretty widely known that early exposure to this stuff can negatively affect people's mental health.
Sorry that people want to purchase things that have sexy breasts on them. That's just what markets are like.
I love my lewd stuff as much as the next guy, and I think people should have as much access to it as they want once they become of age, and that you can be as kinky as you want to be. But when you're 13, 14, 15 years old, no, you should still be learning what regular sex is and like learning to have a healthy relationship with it in the real world. Learning to date, learning that connection the normal way. You date, you get a girlfriend, and it's supposed to still feel special. Early access to porn can confuse them as to what sex is supposed to be and what it's supposed to mean, and how girls are supposed to act in bed, which puts an unnecessary amount of pressure on young girls too when they are expected to perform like porn stars in high school.
Sorry, you're complaining about markets, but you're blaming it on women. Why not blame the thousands of people who watch these streams? You don't understand.
Literally blame the victim. Yes, we should blame the children for looking at it, not for the girls exposing it. Fucking what?
Understand, they're just poor little teenage boys that are being taken advantage of.
Yeah. Wait.
You answered your own question, but you couldn't find a way to debunk it, so you mocked it in an annoying voice. Now, obviously, you can't put some of the blame on the adults watching this stuff, but a lot of it is on these women. They're fucking everywhere on the internet. When I was conducting research for my Tinder documentary last year, these OF models were everywhere. They market themselves in an overbearing measure.
A lot of them are bots too. I don't know if you realize that or not, but a lot of them are bots. Either they're bots made by men using, AI generated women on OnlyFans is becoming a problem too. Like guys make an AI generated model and they just generate new pictures and then they post and create bots to post for them to advertise it and they just rake in the money. But a lot of these OF girls do actually use bots to promote their stuff for them because they're too lazy to do their fucking jobs. If that's supposed to be their job.
Since it's a competitive market, most of these girls make like less than $200 a month. It's like a couple of hobos fighting over a moldy ham sandwich. These girls do some weird stuff to get attention, including doing their act in unintended spaces.
You used to have to go out of your way to see this stuff, and now it's everywhere. Now compare this to how I talked about this issue a few years ago, where I would make fun of people for complaining about. This is like walking into a strip club and being like, get your horny asses out of here. The difference is now everywhere is the strip club. It's to the point where even meme accounts on Twitter are being paid to discreetly advertise OnlyFans pages. And you can't even block the accounts that show up as ads on Twitter. Great website, Elon. 13 plus, by the way. And anyone who points this out is called a prude or a conservative. If you have an issue with naked women making softcore on a website full of children, you're the problem. How does the overall well-being of society affect you, bigot?
God, she's so mad. I love it. It's
because Chew on Head's just fucking right. She's just fucking right. You're a prude if you don't want other adults to see it. Once children become involved, shut the fuck up, especially if you don't have kids.
Hard for her to shit on this because she was bashing Twitter for doing the same thing. This goes on for hours, with Denims coping and trying to find strawmans to mention. The most egregious is when she randomly brings up the Israel-Palestine conflict.
Don't get me wrong.
Because of course she did.
I love breasts as much as the next one, as much as the next person. Okay, I love them.
The fuck does Israel-Palestine have to do with your tits? Please explain.
All right.
I'm pretty sure that the Middle East in general, Israel or Palestine, probably wouldn't be cool with doing this in front of children. So where are you? How can you possibly conflate these two?
I don't want to be talking about that when I'm trying to talk about like fucking Israel Palestine.
This stream was painful, man. I couldn't even get through the whole thing. I'll link it below for transparency's sake, but it's just her pausing the video every 5 seconds after getting mad at Shu for making a joke at the expensive OF models.
Sounds like you're just mad you can't manipulate a following in the same fashion. Granted, I don't condone it, but you're coming off as salty as a group of people found a loophole around the TOS and are abusing it. Frankly, these women should be praised for thinking outside the box and pandering to an audience that isn't oversaturated. You can't exactly criticize them for being smart enough to know which outlet has a higher chance of yielding income. What do you mean? It takes 2 seconds to take off my shirt. Literally any woman in the world can do this, but most don't because making on a website mostly populated by minors is gross and insane. Gonna be honest.
Yeah.
You have to be able to read anything and not give a fuck. Not care. Okay?
Can you tell she doesn't have any humility? She comes off as
I can tell she doesn't have any children. No one with children has this take. No one.
Salty in this stream. It's insane. She hates Shu on Head because she knows she's right. Her only arguments are to downplay the situation, just like she did with the Balenciaga situation. But when it comes to people she hates, she's the least bit charitable. She labeled Froggy a Nazi and Mudahar a transphobe. And this starts to explain what my main problem with her is.
Hypocrisy.
My main problem with Denims is how blatant her bias is. Now everyone has some level of bias. Those who say they don't are lying. My issue with Denims is not only how massively biased she is towards her friends, but also how she never brings up substantial claims or evidence. She just yaps and expects her audience to parrot these same opinions. She surrounds herself with pretty terrible people, and then defends them by simply labeling the opposition as something harmful. Or she'll just take potshots at them and get corrected in the replies. She picks and chooses who she attacks, and doesn't get called out for it as much since she hides amongst larger communities. She's had a commensalistic relationship in both Vosh's and Hasan's community. She would have been a parasite in Destiny's community if she wasn't such a lying bimbo. She relies on bigger creators and sticks up for them for the sake of her own image and reputation. Although I find it strange that she's still defending Keffels, despite Vosh's community nuking itself due to AI-generated horse porn and lolly. It's probably her trying to...
God, I'll never forget him pulling up his tax folder. How the fuck does he still have a career after that, man? I mean, it's taken a significant hit. Deserved, but... Jesus, these people are freaks.
appear as an ally despite how awful Keffels truly is for the trans community. Without these bigger creators hoisting her up, she'd just be another generic OF model, who would occasionally get into controversy. But since she's friends with such great people, she'll continue to dig her own grave until her relevancy fades. Thanks for watching. I want to once again thank Sensitive Society for making a cameo. I'll link his channel down below. If there's anybody you want me to cover in the next episode, comment down below. Bye.
Well, that's a Denim one. It's not as damning as I thought it would be. How old was that video? It's not too old, but it's not fully caught up to today stuff. Because I would argue like the worst stuff about her, like just how bad her takes are, how biased she is, and the disgusting depths that she's willing to go through just to stay in Hasan's good graces have come out since their little beef with Ethan started. There, we'll talk and enjoy the game for a little while until